guys, I'm FPL Nymfria and welcome back to the home of FPL videos. Well, despite my keenness to avoid using my wildcard for game week 4, I just couldn't shake that feeling that I needed more Man City players for that Brighton game that they were hosting. And late Friday night I hit the button and this is the result. Despite me feeling Ryan is still a great set and forget budget goalkeeper, I decided to make the switch to Pope. This was partly to do with me believing City would stuff Brighton in game week 4 and partly because of the fixture change. Brighton had a good first few fixtures, but in game week 7 and 8 they hit both Chelsea and Tottenham, whereas Pope has a great run now until early December with only Chelsea from the top 6 in game week 10. Of course, good fixtures don't guarantee anything, but I'm hoping for a budget goalkeeper it gives them the best chance possible. Pope got me 2 points against Liverpool as opposed to Ryan's no points against City. Moving on to my defence, and there were a few changes made here with my wildcard. Van Dijk became Trent, which paid off at least last game week, with Virgil van Dijk getting 7 points and Trent getting 11 from his assist. Wan-Bissaka became Zinchenko, a move I was a bit nervous about given I'd only got Wan-Bissaka the week before, and for the reasons of him being highly owned. That coupled with Zinchenko being touted to lose his spot any week soon, made me a bit concerned. But last game week, at least it was an epic move, given Zinchenko got 6 points and Wan-Bissaka got 2. Digne stayed, mainly because you get used to the highs and the lows with this guy. One week you get 1 point, another you get an assist. This week it was an assist for 5 points, but I'm happy to ride this wave with him for now. Kelly became Mings. I missed out on Kelly's clean sheet last game week, but with tougher fixtures ahead and a risk of rotation, I am hoping this is a better swap going forward. And lastly, Lundstrom stayed mainly for price reasons. Moving on to my midfield, and there were 3 changes here. Salah and Sterling stayed. I very much debated KDB in here. I was a big advocate of him pre-season and I will likely be having him, if not next game week, then the game week after. But I decided to play the short game here with this one, as you'll see when we move to my forwards. Sterling is Sterling, and as I was wildcarding to get more City assets, I wasn't about to sell him, even if he did only get me 3 points. Salah could have been switched to Mane for a few extra funds, but until I'm convinced Mane is consistently outperforming Mo, then I'd rather stick. Last week Mane got 8 points to Salah's 6, so that was a bit of a deficit, but I think it's a bit too early to know right at this point if it's something I need to be concerned about moving forward. My 3 new recruits in midfield were a tad bit disappointing, only getting me 2 points each. However, I am excited to own these players going forward, and I thought they might be players that other FPL managers might consider in this international break, especially if on a wildcard. The players that made way for Cantwell, McGinn and Mount were Martial, who didn't play through injury, Trossard, who got 2 points against City, and Dendoncker, who got 2 points matching Cantwell. Moving on to my forwards, Greenwood stayed mainly because of funds, but Pukki replaced Kingy. This was a change I had already done before even wildcarding. They ended up matching one another with 2 points apiece. I was desperate for a bit of the Pukki party, so I was disappointed to not even get 1 return against West Ham, especially as Pukki has Man City up next, a fixture I'm not convinced sees him return anything. But it's my main man here that swung the wildcard for me. Aguero in for Kane and my captain. As you might know, I've not been having the best time lately, and we all know how much I love Aguero. So as FPL is ultimately a game and something you have to enjoy, I not only put my faith in Aguero, knowing Kane would get something against Arsenal, but I also went all in with the captaincy armband, and boy did it pay off. Aguero got 2 goals and an assist and 3 bonus points, which as my captain brought in a cool 32 points, roughly half of my overall points altogether. What a legend. There is talk Aguero will be dropped when Jesus returns from injury and that his minutes will be managed when the Champions League kicks in, hence my dilemma with KDB. However, rightly or wrongly, I have a plan. I can drop Aguero if he does start missing out to a 7.9 striker or less at any point, and McGinn can then become KDB easily. This is also true of Mount, with him being more expensive, freeing up more funds for that striker position. So Mount and McGinn are on the watch list as make ways for KDB should he become the better City asset moving forward. A big risk given KDB's ownership and points, potentially, but one I was willing to take for a few game weeks at least. All of that means I ended on a total of 73 points points, almost double my points of the previous week, placing me at an OR of 306,867, a massive green arrow. My old team would have got 45 points, with Salah as captain and playing Kelly over Dendoncker. That means overall I got a big points boost by wildcarding. But of course I can't wildcard every week, and by going this early I have likely disadvantaged myself given we have such a long time until the new year and our next wildcard. But we'll have to see. Looking forward to Game Week 5, and this is how I'm looking at the moment. The advantage about having just wildcarded is that it looks half decent at the moment. Concerns probably lay in having two Norwich players facing City, but I went with form over fixtures here, and I've decided to bench Cantwell to try and limit the damage a little bit. Struggling between Lundstrom and Mings for who to start, but right now I've plumped with Mings. I'm also leaning towards a Sterling captaincy. Odd, I know, given what happened last game week, but it's just a gut reaction. We'll see if I end up sticking with it or if I switch back to Aguero. KDB is an obvious must going forward, especially after his performance for Belgium, and I will need to reassess that after this game week and likely make a move for him before he gets too far out of reach. But I'm okay going without him at least one more game week and hopefully clocking that transfer. Now let's move on to the trendy transfers. There's a few of these given this is prime wildcard territory. In goal, the main shift seems to be towards Pope, with over 100,000 of you at the time of recording transferring the Burnley keeper in ahead of Game Week 5. The main goalkeepers making way for Pope are Ryan and De Gea. In defence, Trent seems to be the most trendy transfer, with over 164,000 of you switching to the Liverpool man already. Wan-Bissaka, Robertson and Laporte are the trendiest players to sell for Trent. Wan-Bissaka being the highest sold defender this international break, with over 221,000 sales already. In midfield, we've got a new bandwagon in Daniel James. The United man has been brought in by over 360,000 FPL managers. He's closely followed by Mount, KDB and Cantwell, with James's teammate Martial being the main man to lose his spot in FPL managers' teams. Up front, there's plenty of action going on. Abraham is unsurprisingly a front runner after his consistency of braces over 2 game weeks. Over 402,000 of you have put your faith in the Chelsea man. He's hotly followed though by my man Aguero after his Game Week 4 performance. Rashford, Pukki and Kane are the main players giving way to these trendy transfers, possibly a little surprisingly with Pukki given he's been a trendy transfer in for the first few game weeks, but his blank seems to have got FPL managers spooked. Managers seem more concerned with his next fixture rather than his consistency of 4 goals and 1 assist in 2 home games. And that's it you guys, thanks for watching. Please feel free to check out my sponsors fantasyfootballfix.com, and please don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell. Until next time, Nymfria out.